Chapter 32. Are you kidding me? No parking spaces anywhere? I pulled through the physician parking lot and realized it was full of cars I didn't recognize. Half had out-of-state license plates. I kept driving until I found a spot open next to the trash compactor. If the parking lot was any sign, today's shift would be worse than yesterday. "Hey, miracle worker, I think you've gone viral. The world is here to meet you," said a nurse as she pushed a dirty linen cart down the hall. I exhaled slowly. That's crazy. This won't work long term. We need to figure something out. "Nope, it's not, and it's only going to get worse," she said. Our secretary intercepted me before I made it to my workstation. "Dr. Turner, there's someone out front to see you. I told him you're very busy, but he insisted. He said he'd be happy to wait until you have a few minutes to spare," she said. As if I'd have time to do anything today besides trying to find an actual emergent patient through the throng of chronic illness. "Okay, thanks. Do you know who he is?" "No, I don't. The triage nurse said he looked like a geek and carried a suitcase. Works for some insurance company." "At least he's not a lawyer. Now you made me curious. I'll get out there when I can." "I'd be careful going to the waiting room. You're likely to cause a stampede." She had a point. True. Maybe I'll see him in the quiet room. I signed up for my first patient and entered the room. A morbidly obese woman filled the bed, her body pressed firmly into the guardrail on each side. Her head bobbed up and down as she struggled with the effort of breathing. She held a battery-operated fan in her right hand. Two younger men sat in chairs in the corner. "Hi, I'm Dr. Turner. How can I help you today?" "You need to fix me, Doc. I can't breathe. I've been like this for months, and it's only getting worse. I can barely get around my house now. I feel like I'm going to die." "What changed to bring you to the hospital today? Has it worsened recently?" "No, I wanted to come in as soon as I saw that news story, but today was the first day my kids were off to help get me here. Nothing is different, and that's the problem. I just need you to help me." "Well, it seems like your weight is causing significant problems in your life. I suspect that is the main issue, but I'll order an x-ray of your chest and blood work to see if I can find another treatable cause of your symptoms. But most likely, those tests will be normal and we'll need to refer you to our weight loss clinic to set you up with a dietitian who specializes in helping people in your situation. There are fantastic medications available now, and you could also consider surgery. Our bariatric program has very good success rates." She shook her head, which made her pant for a few seconds. "No, I don't want to do any of that. I just want you to do your thing and fix me." "Ma'am, you can fix yourself. With a few lifestyle changes, you can experience a significant improvement in your symptoms over the next few months, and be quite functional again if you dedicate yourself to change. There are fantastic medications available that can help you get there." "So you won't help me?" Her rising anger caused her to fidget in the bed, increasing her heart rate, respiratory rate, and caused a film of sweat to break out on her forehead. "Mother, relax. You need to calm down," said one of her sons from the corner. "No, I won't. Get me out of here," she yelled while struggling to sit up on the slippery plastic-covered mattress. Her sweat made the task much more difficult. "Go get my scooter. I'll file a complaint against this doctor as soon as I get home." "Ma'am, we can help you, but it's going to take some time. There's only so much we can do. We're not miracle—" I cut myself off. The line I'd used for years to explain the limitations of the ER didn't seem appropriate anymore. I just wish I'd stopped myself a few words sooner. She stared into my eyes as she spoke. "They're not, but you are. When you find someone worth helping, that is." She turned back toward her kids. "Let's go." I tried my best to convince her to accept my referral, but she didn't want to hear it. I helped her sons transfer her to the scooter and then watched her cruise down the hallway toward the exit. Another unsatisfied patient and another complaint coming through the system. I'd amassed more this week than I had in my entire career. If this didn't stop, I was going to find myself in front of the hospital board. I surveyed the long list of patients waiting to be seen, and could find no one who looked critically ill based on the nursing notes. I grabbed my insulated tote and asked our secretary to send the insurance agent into the quiet room. It was time for a working lunch. I entered the room and greeted the geeky insurance agent. "Hi, I'm Dr. Turner. How can I help you?" I sat down and tossed my lunch onto the table. He tried to stand, but I waved him off. "Hello, sir. I am not exaggerating when I say your reputation precedes you. I represent Alliance Healthcare, one of the top 5 private health insurance companies in the United States. I am here today to discuss a very exciting proposal. It is a win for all parties involved, especially the patients." I took a bite of sandwich and motioned for him to continue. "We have identified several clients who are consuming a disproportionate amount of resources to treat their chronic, incurable medical conditions. These apex clients are costing my company several $1,000,000 a year each, with no end in sight. When evaluated actuarially, this small group of 5 individuals will cost Alliance in excess of $100 million over the next 10 years. My normal chewing technique failed me when he dropped the dollar amount. I coughed on a piece of bread and downed a drink of Diet Coke to clear my mouth. "That's incredible. Just 5 people will cost you over $100 million in 10 years? "That is our projection, yes. From 24-hour-a-day care, repeated hospital admissions, surgeries, expensive medications, and transportation costs. It adds up quickly. Chronic diseases used to not have such long life expectancies as many do today. It's a double-edged sword. Medicine is advancing quickly and allowing the sick to live longer, which increases the cost of care for everyone." "And how can I help you?" I asked. Only half of my sandwich remained. It was time to get to the point. "We propose you meet with each of these 5 Apex clients individually and cure them with your special ability. We will, of course, provide first-class transportation and accommodation to all locations for yourself and your wife if she wishes to come with you. We are prepared to begin in as little as 3 days." "I see. Are you aware that this gift I received comes with a downside? I can only do it a certain number of times, and then it's over." "I was not aware of that, but given those restraints, I think our offer is very reasonable." The agent leaned forward in his seat, folded his hands on the table, and stared directly at me. "Alliance will pay you $25 million for your services if you restore these 5 patients back to health." I whistled as I leaned back in my chair. The rest of the sandwich could wait. $25 million? "That is correct," replied the agent. I feel like a fool for saying anything other than yes right now, but honestly, I need some time to think about it. You're asking me to use a divine gift to enrich myself. I need to consider the ethics and morality of this before giving you an answer. Let's just say the medical community hasn't been very receptive to my ability. I'm afraid they would try to take away my medical license if news of this got out. Let me assure you we take privacy seriously. There could be bad press focused on us also, if this became public knowledge. Frankly, though there isn't much of a downside here, you provide a miraculous cure to 5 patients with extreme illnesses, ease the burden their families have endured in caring for them, save our company enough money that we can lower premiums for all our customers, and earn a handsome reward for your own family. Dr. Turner, I am not qualified to give you advice, but you could donate a significant portion of this income to a charity to add another winner to the paradigm. The obvious downside is me losing 5 months of my life expectancy. 5 months less time with my family, I said. I'm sorry, I don't follow. Earlier, when I said that I can only do this a certain number of times, what I meant was that eventually I will die and no longer be able to do this. Every time I heal someone, I lose another month of my life expectancy. I'm already down about a year. Next, it was his turn to exhale deeply and consider his response. He seemed like a nice enough guy. I thought he might actually care about these people. I didn't know that was how it worked. That is quite the twist. Please take some time and think it over. Talk with your family. He reached across the table and handed me a business card. Here is my contact information. Reach out when you've decided. I'll call you back next week if I haven't heard from you. Thank you for your time." The agent stood and shook my hand and then left me and my half sandwich alone in the room. "I received an interesting offer just now. We'll share when I get home." "What's it about?" "The only thing people care about anymore. You're burning through your time like a sparkler. This is different. Talk to you tonight." I stuffed the rest of the sandwich in my mouth and returned to my workstation. As hard as I tried to ignore it, the number 25 million kept sounding off in my brain. Our financial planner told me last year that 6 million would be a good nest egg to retire with if I wanted to maintain the same lifestyle. Now these people offered me 4 times that in a week. I worked my tongue across my teeth, trying to remove any remnants of sandwich before I saw the next patient. Before I got back to my workstation, a sweet voice called out to me. "Excuse me, are you going to help my sister?" I turned to see a child, perhaps 5 years old, standing at the entrance to a room. I kneeled down and looked her in the eye. "Hello. Has anyone seen her yet?"